That would have sounded so much better had I unmuted my microphone. But you know what? Isn't that just the way that tonight is going to unfold? Isn't it perfect that that's the way that this show has begun? Why? Well, for a couple reasons. First of which being, it's a Tuesday, and we are live on twitch.tv/athomewithjames. I am James, you are you. We are here for this very special edition of this episode. Why is this show happening on a Tuesday? Why is it Bizarro World? Why have we returned to a night in which we haven't been on in months and months and months? Well, I'll tell you why if you come a little closer. The Montreal Canadiens released their Stanley Cup final schedule, and it goes as follows: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and that is in the chance that it goes to a Game 7. Now, I know that I've been talking about hockey on this show for a couple weeks now, and I would like to think that you tolerate that as much as I tolerate all these jokers and freaks and weirdos and at times winos who I have as guests on this show and listen to the gobbledygook that they spew out of their mouth. I think it's an agreement that we have all made with each other. Why is it almost perfect that my microphone was muted at the top of the show for the first time ever? Well, I'll tell you why. Because tonight is Worst Montreal. We have talked about this episode a variety of times, and now it is happening. So it is only fitting that something so terrible is what begins this episode. It truly is one of the worst things that I could imagine happening. James, back in the old days of doing the show, would have been rattled for the full hour. And believe you me, that would have rattled me to no end, knowing that I pulled a blooper, a blunder, and a boner of epic proportions. The host who mutes himself at the top of his own dang show. Now I'm rolling with the flow. I'm taking it easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl, because that's just the type of guy I am. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, whether you are watching live in living color along the information superhighway, or if you happen to be watching this as a banked episode. Because I'll tell you this right now. I turn on our channel the next day, I see 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 views. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who's watching this stuff. And frankly, I don't know why they don't watch live when it happens as it happens in real time. But if you are one of those mystery people, the dozens who tune into this show, thank you so much. Who is on tonight's episode, this very special Tuesday edition of At Home, as we discuss just the absolute bottom of the barrel in the city that we call Montreal, Montreal, if you're one of our French fans or French friends, our Francophone pals. Tonight, Saima Ahmed is back. If there's anyone who knows the best of Montreal, it's Saima. I have tasked her, I've challenged her, I've given her homework to come up with what really, truly is the pits of the city. Also tonight, he hasn't been here in a while, but he is someone who tries to take care of the worst of the worst of the worst. He's a member of the Montreal chapter of the Guardian Angels. It's Mike D'Amico. Now, if you don't know Mike D'Amico, born and raised New York City, cleaned it up like nobody's business. He jumped on a Greyhound. He moved to Montreal. Now he rides the metros as he looks to take care of business and throw out the trash. And when I say trash, I'm not talking about old diapers. I'm not talking about half-eaten hamburgers. I'm certainly not talking about condoms full to the brim with the seed of a stranger. This guy's taken out the real trash, the people that make the streets unsafe, the people that are shoving over the old biddies, the people that are taking their spray paint cans and writing swears on the wall, MFer up against the school, maybe goes down to the hospital and writes the B word. This guy takes care of them one after the other. So if you've ever walked down, let's say Papineau after 9:30 p.m. and you think, you know what? I feel pretty protected right now. It's thanks to Mike D'Amico and the other Guardian Angels of the Montreal chapter. But we're going to get things off in high fashion with someone who does not live in Montreal, but it is someone that calls Montreal perhaps a second home. It's someone that also knows what truly the best of the city has to offer, and certainly knows what the worst has to offer as well. Let us welcome, coming to us from Lake Placid, New York, where I'm sure it's just as steamy there as it is here, it's Joe Conto. Joe, how's it going?
It's going good. How about you, James?
I'm
It's
doing
been
very
it's
well.
been so long. It's been so long.
It has been long. We've changed so much, right? We were
Yeah.
wearing sweaters and now we're wearing button downs. Yours
You've
perfect
grown.
perfect for a hoedown, and mine perfect for a Beach Boys concert.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
One time when I was a kid, my mom had a rather sharp tongue, and like myself, and we were at a restaurant, and the server went away. Yep. And took a very, very long time to come back. And she looked up from her menu. She goes, "Ma, you've grown."
Oh, so
good burn, right?
Yeah. That's something that we would call an unkind statement.
Yes. Yeah. But she meant it as a joke.
Yeah. That's what they all say when they cut you down with their iodine tongue.
Yeah. I try to think better of it. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we'll think about the good times. We'll think about the good times as we burst into the bad times. Joe, when I was thinking about this episode, you were the first person that popped into my mind because you've got a lot of opinions that veer towards interesting to unpopular. Yeah,
well, often I think people fall for stuff a lot. And I don't look, there's one thing I don't do. I don't fall for stuff. Or if I do, I do it. Yeah. And nobody ever has to, somebody said, "You know what I like about you?" And I go, "What?" "Tell me." And they go, you never have to guess what you never have to guess what you're thinking.
Yes.
I go, "That is true, right? I will tell you what's on my mind and get it out there." Yeah.
All right. So you can't be fooled. You are what carnies would look at as a mark, but then you would foil them by proving better.
Yes, but remember, I grew up with a carny background, right?
Yeah.
So I can tell the game. Yeah. I think I'm pretty good at telling the game before it's going on.
All right. So let's dig deep into this. Does this have any bearing on tonight's topic, which is discussing and breaking down the absolute worst of Montreal?
Yeah, I think so, because I think there's a lot of stuff like that you're supposed to like in any city, but in Montreal as well. There are things that like you're supposed to be into or supposed to like, or when people come to town, you're supposed to, you know what I mean?
You got to walk up Mount Royal. You have to take a walk up Mount Royal and stay there for 5 minutes.
The oratory, come on, you got to go to the oratory. You get up there and it's weird. There's an elevator and crutches on the wall. When I was a kid, you know that my grandmother knew Brother Andre, who was like the padre behind St. Joseph Oratory.
Yeah, the big baller shot caller.
Yes, they were distant cousins, and they knew each other because the town I grew up in, just south of the border, he would be there quite often. So, so my grandma knew a saint, which is like a real live saint.
Right. Now, are you saying that you visited St. Joseph's Oratory and you're like, I don't get it. These crutches stink and this heart in the box sucks.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because, I grew up Catholic, right? So we went to all the Catholic vacation spots.
Yep.
And if you want a good one, go to Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré up north of Quebec City. Now that is a real live, like you could be in that church, like in those shrines, and believe that a miracle happened there,
Now this is controversial. This is going to cause some controversy with Montreal loving homers, but as well as the religious crew. Are you saying that St. Joseph's Oratory is one of the worst things that the city has to offer? Now you can look, you speak your piece and you follow your bliss.
I don't know that it's one of the worst things, but it's one of those things that like you're demanded to go and look at this thing. And there's nothing about it that I've seen a lot of church architecture in my life, and there's nothing about it that is that makes me feel like yearn for my Catholic upbringing.
It doesn't turn you on. Doesn't turn you on. Okay, let's continue. Right,
it's all metal.
You spit on St. Joseph's Oratory. What comes next? What are you going to wipe your hiney with?
No, well, remember you said worst neighborhood in Montreal? I got the worst neighborhood.
Okay, please.
Underground City.
Okay, now this is interesting. The underground city where the metros and the stores and such lie. You've given it a thumbs down with a sarcastic fart noise.
I'll tell you why, because everywhere, every guidebook or whatever, it goes, and you must see the underground city where Montrealers travel underground to escape winter's perils. And you go into it and you're like, oh, it's a metro station and a dead mall.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to sit here and defend the underground city. I would argue that it is a little bit more lively than dead, right?
Oh, it's things are shuttered.
Now, which underground mall are you walking around? Peel? That might be your problem. You're more likely to buy some cocaine there than you will be to buy a pair of.
I've actually tried. No, I actually tried to use it to traverse the city in order to use it for what its purpose is, to get from one part to another in the middle of winter. And I thought this feels like in America, in the suburbs, there are two malls, right? There's the mall that everybody goes to, and there's the mall that everybody used to go to.
Yeah.
And to me, many parts of that underground city feel like the mall that everybody used to go to.
Right. Okay. So a great
Earring
place
Tree,
yeah,
is place like when they sell like just earrings, or like a joke shop, like a Spencer's, like vulgar T-shirts and fart sounds in a garbage can.
Yeah. So you're saying might be a great place to have someone cough in your face.
Yeah, if that's what you want.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you now
and again, here's the point. It's not that on its own it's terrible. It's just that it is touted as being this innovative. It makes it sound like there's this underground neighborhood that's amazing. And you go in there and you're like, oh, I think I'm in the Galleria in Utica.
All right. Well, no one wants to go to the Galleria in Utica, that's for sure. Okay. So St. Joseph's Oratory, you spit on it, you've taken the underground city and you've wiped your rear end with it. What comes next?
Bottom with it.
What comes next? What are you gonna pat your armpits down with?
I want you to see, this place isn't around anymore. But do you remember the worst Portuguese chicken place in Montreal?
Now, is this place on is it on Des Pins?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, was it just at like the corner of Des Pins and maybe St. Urbain?
I think it's now that dipping ice cream shop.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, where they kept their chicken in a drawer.
Yeah, and we'd go in, and because we were like, oh, I hope they're cooking chicken today.
Yeah,
and we'd go in, that old lady would open the drawer. We'd like, oh no.
Yeah, they'd open it up like it was bodies in a morgue.
Yeah. Oh no, it's drawer chicken, and yeah, exactly. And they'd take out a chicken cadaver, and they would remove the toe tag.
Yeah,
and then she would heat it up, and we would get it with old fries.
Now I remember eating there once, probably with you. I remember the food being good, and then the next time it was no good.
It was drawer chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember one time I got it before a show, and you said, "Where'd you go?" I go, "Oh, I went to that chicken place," and you go, "Oh, out of the drawer."
Yeah.
Like we'd started a vocabulary around it.
Yeah. Now I'd like to. Now you talked about before a show. I want to throw something into the mix here, right? Now, if we take away our own bias, is it possible that the Montreal Improv lobby was one of the worst places in Montreal ever?
It was one of the
This would be the slogan if there was a pamphlet. Again, imagine you've never been there. It's a great lobby to smell somebody's bathroom visit.
Yes, or to look at a garbage can that is overly full.
Or to wait for a show with no music playing.
Yes, or to stand in harsh lighting, and feel out of place, even though you know about 90% of the people there.
Yeah, or to visit and be perhaps treated by the door person as if you have done something wrong by giving them your business.
Yes, there was often a sentry at the door, and I come from a background in hospitality, right?
Yeah,
where everything is about welcome, come on, come on.
If you were to take your hospitality background and set up a checklist of the do's and don'ts, I would argue to say that lobby would have run the gamut of all don'ts and no do's.
I don't know. Like I wouldn't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know where to start. I think I'd start with a mop.
Yeah.
But not one that came with the building, like a fresh mop head.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
anyway.
It stayed there. Okay. So let's add that to the list of worst places in Montreal. Yeah. Where prior to its closing, the urinal was condemned. And that's a quote.
Yeah.
Let's move on from there.
And also, even here at my house, every once in a while, I find myself keeping the toilet handle pressed for a very long time to ensure a satisfying flush.
Yeah.
Even though, you know what, my toilet is modern and works fine, but I just go, oh my God.
It's left you with a complex.
Trained. Yeah.
It's left you with a complex. Okay, so we've added the lobby. What else? What else, Joe, in your opinion, is some of the worst? You've got the most, one of the most famous churches in the world.
Yeah.
And once again, you spit on, you've hacked up a loogie.
Yeah.
You've wiped your bottom with the underground city. You've dabbed your moist armpits with drawer chicken.
Yeah.
What else?
The worst. Okay, let me think. The worst Italian food is that drogeria fina that everybody makes a big deal out of, that you go and they slop some watery marinara over some overcooked gnocchi in a Chinese food container in Mile End, and everybody goes, and everybody's eating it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Now this is also a very a beloved spot in Montreal's famous Mile End. An old lady who serves gnocchi out of a window. That's all you can buy there. And you're saying it's
people are lined up for that garbage.
Yeah.
And the sauce is like $10 a jar. You bring it home and you're like, what? I could have had a V8, because you know what it is? It's V8.
Wow. And now this is exactly what I'm looking for, to alienate. Not only to alienate businesses that are most certainly not watching this, nor will they ever, but also people that you're going to have people watch this going like, wait a minute, I like that place.
They can, but I just feel like they got fooled.
Yeah.
And often people get fooled because it's like, and you must go to Drogeria Fina for delicious homemade from Grandma Fina herself, you know?
Yeah.
And you get there and everyone's very nice, but it's bland and watery. And it's 33 degrees out, and everybody's lined up around the block to eat like a quart or whatever, almost a liter.
It's a bucket of food.
It's an enormous amount of food, and it's not very good.
You know what? Maybe you sold me. That sauce always too hot as well. Too hot.
It's like it is the temperature of McDonald's coffee, and they got sued.
All right. Well, okay, Joe. Anything else you want to add to this list? Because you're really disparaging a lot of popular places.
While we're on the subject of coffee,
yeah, please.
I hate Dispatch.
Okay.
The one on the corner.
Yeah, corner of Saint Laurent and Duluth, where it looks like a robot should be serving you.
Yes, and the robot would have a tiny bit more compassion.
Yeah.
You go in there, and first of all, they're like, "Oh, you again," you know. And I
can I ask you a question, Joe? Do you when you go in there, you try to impress them?
You know I do. You know, not to impress them, but I try them. I need service.
You're giving them a little show.
Hi, how are you? Hey, oh boy, coffee time, whatever. You know, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's ingratiating.
Yeah.
But too bad. That's part of the game. And they're just like, I don't know, looking down on me, like, oh, he's cluttering up the place with all his oldness. And you get in there, and then you get your coffee, and they've decided to pour concrete, and now you're sitting on concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete.
Well, Joe, that's one of those places that's not for you. It's not for me either.
I don't know who it's for. It's for people. I don't know.
I would say it's for people who wear toques with the bottom rolled up far past their ears.
Yeah.
I would say bizarre tattoos that have no meaning or substance. I'd say. I would say that's pretty good.
But why is that appealing? Like when I was in college, at UNLV. There was a Greek life thing, and I had friends who said, "Oh, you should join a fraternity," and I never understood why you would kind of go through this hazing ritual where you allowed people to treat you poorly, and then eventually, okay, now you can be my friend. I feel the same way about Dispatch. Like I could wear them down. Listen, remember I wore down that lady at the Maine with the beehive. Remember when she ended up liking me because
she's one of the worst people in the city. One of the worst people. She's like if urine could talk.
No. I ended up really having a soft spot for her. At first, she didn't make
Joe,
a big deal out of me.
What are you trying to reveal to us right now? Because I'm starting to get some mixed signals.
Yeah. we made love in Portuguese Park.
Right. Okay.
No, but one time I was taking a walk because I'd had it, with whatever was going on at the theater. So I was taking a walk up, and she had gotten off her shift, and there she was, and it was like 1:30 in the mornings or something, and there she was in the park with her shoes off, rubbing her feet in her waitress outfit, and I go, God damn, she's got a hard life. Lay off her. No wonder she's crabby.
Why are you projecting that onto her? All she was doing was rubbing her bare feet in the park.
Because I pictured myself at her age,
right,
rubbing my bare feet in a park at 1:30 in the morning, thinking, "Oh, I got to be back there at 11 tomorrow."
So then that's when you went over to her and unbuckled your belt.
Yep. No. I unbuttoned her blouse.
All right.
No, is that worse or better?
How gentlemanly of you. Yeah.
Look at all this water. I'm making myself drink a lot of water.
Yeah, drink up, Joe. Let's. Take a big sip. Yeah.
I have to do 2 of these a day, and it's 9:30.
Well, look, drink up, Joe. Our new sponsor, Poland Springs. Yeah, only the finest of American waters purchased at a Stewart's shop, or maybe a Kroger's, or maybe a CVS.
Maple Fields. I got to bring you there. You'll love it.
I would love it. Okay, so I'm going to add that lady to the worst list as we begin to wind down.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yep. What's the final item you would like to add to your worst Montreal?
The absolute worst thing in Montreal is that Michigan plate you made me eat at that. Remember that thing?
Yeah. So there is a beloved Montreal diner, the new system, which is located in St. Henry on Notre Dame. At one point, a true greasy spoon experience for people who want no nonsense food, great servers, great cooks. And I will say currently COVID has done a number on them that I am not sure they will be able to recover from. But
they'll come back.
You know what? No, this is the time for this story because it's worse than Montreal. Last year, I noticed that they had replaced their curd cheese on the poutine for shredded mozzarella cheese. And one night, me and collaborator on the show, Dave Kaufman, went. We both, I forgot to tell him that's the way they were doing it. And I forgot. We got hit with one of these shredded mozzarella cheese poutine. Yep. About a month later, I called to place an order. And as I was saying it, it occurred to me, I better check. Said, can I get a poutine with curd? They said, sure. And I was like, oh, you're back to curd? And she said, oh no, we do both. But the default cheese is shredded mozzarella, which is I think a bait and switch. It's like ordering a pizza and it comes with Kraft singles. Now, recently I was taught, could you imagine ordering a pizza? It's covered in Kraft singles. And then you call back and you say, this is a Kraft single pizza. They go, you have to ask for the cheese.
You wanted mozzarella? Yeah.
Joe,
this was made on a Hasbro Frisbee. You didn't say you wanted the deep dish.
It comes in a bag instead of a box. Now,
just the toppings.
Yeah, imagine
just the toppings in a bag.
Recently.
You wanted crust. I'm sorry.
I went back recently, and the owner was there, and I said, I want to get a poutine. Can I get it with curd cheese? And then I started asking him about the shredded cheese, and he tried to tell me,
people prefer it
once they changed to shredded. That quote, their sales skyrocketed. That poutine, that's a worst in Montreal. Now let's get back to your story. New system at the height of its popularity. I don't recall telling you to order the Michigan because I have never ordered a Michigan at the
You encouraged the Michigan.
You probably said, I'm thinking about it. And I said, yeah, it'd probably be pretty good. Now, for people who are the uneducated, a Michigan is a hot dog topped with spaghetti sauce, a bolognese. You got it. Now, Joe, this is where you can take over. You loved it.
Wait, I just want to say something. Saima made a face. And you know why? Because that's what I got at that restaurant. That's not what a Michigan is.
Well, I think it is. It is.
There is a meat sauce, but it's certainly not spaghetti sauce. That was a sloppy, wet mess.
Yeah, I recall you saying that it was like a diarrhea.
I'm talking about the waitress.
You said it was diarrhea on a plate.
Say it again.
Yeah, you said it was diarrhea on a plate.
I did.
Yeah. Now, I didn't think it looked that bad. I think that you may be I think your reaction was one of the worst things that ever happened in Montreal.
It might have been the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Period. Yeah.
And
now, Joe, what would it take?
And I was mugged twice.
What would it take for you to eat it again? What would it take? Money.
An apocalypse.
Okay, so what about this? You have to eat.
Wait a minute, money? You say?
Yeah, money. Let's as we begin to wind down,
God,
what
that's
if you
awful.
get to spend one more night with the server from the main, but you have to eat the Michigan plate from the new system? But one last romantic night with the server, you see her, she's rubbing her feet, and you're like, just one more dance under the stars, and she goes, yeah, but you have to eat this.
And she pulls out the Michigan plate from new system.
From her, yeah, it's in her bag. She got it to go. It's in a tin, so it's
She
all
yeah.
it's very condensed in there.
Oh, and she wants us to start from each end of the hot dog.
Yeah.
Like she wants us to Lady in the Trampet.
Yeah, and then she tells you she got it special because instead of the new system sauce, it's the gnocchi pasta sauce from the Mile End.
Oh, so Dragareatina sauce.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
One last night, one final dance under the stars.
No, this is a ridiculous.
Right.
No.
Okay,
I don't want any of that.
I would say you're declining. Again, I'm putting that on the worst list.
Just me declining is on the worst
list?
That's
one of the worst things that's ever happened in Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and final thing, patati patata.
Yeah, you want to quickly summarize why? Because I'm on the same page as you.
Well, I just don't understand the appeal. First of all, I know I'm like Shrek, right? There's a lot of me. So going in there, I'm like in everybody's way automatically.
Well, it's a very tiny restaurant, no matter who you are walking in.
Right. So I got that. And then you go in there and you're like, what's there to eat? And I know it's
overrated burgers.
I wouldn't call them a burger.
Yeah, I'd call it an overrated slider.
Yeah, it's like it's about the size of a sausage patty.
Yeah,
a Jimmy Dean's.
Look, Joe, we had a bit of tension there because you wouldn't make love to the server for a hot dog covered in pasta sauce, but now we brought it back around.
Good,
Joe, I love you.
Hey, I love you too so much, James.
I will see you soon. That's what's in the stars.
I hope so. No, Joe, really. July 23rd. That's my prediction. That's when Joe Conto will be in Montreal.
All right.
Have a parade.
You can see Joe crossing the street at the corner of Saint Laurent Des Payne just before he drops an ice cream cone on the street.
Why do you bring that up every time?
It's one of the
that is the worst thing that happened.
Yeah, that was one of the worst things.
That and the Michigan plate.
Okay.
Oh, look, and the 2 times I got mugged.
The 2 times you got mugged in Montreal?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's for just worse Joe Conto.
One time in New York and one time in Cancun. But you know what? When I was in Cancun, I deserved it. I was like where I wasn't supposed to.
Okay, we're going to hear this story. That'll be part of your humiliation series, Joe. But until then, drink up, finish your water, and we'll talk soon.
I've got so much to tell you. Bye.
Great. That's Joe Conto. Look, folks, you don't think I know? You don't think I know it's a lighthouse tonight? That whole segment, I'm looking down at the numbers and I see 1, 2. You think I feel good about this? You think I ask these great entertainers to be on this show so they can sit here talking to me? They could call me on the phone. They don't, but they could. And why not? I'm a great conversationalist. Yeah, I took a risk. I took a risk this week. I wanted to watch the hockey. I thought everyone's going to follow us to Tuesdays. And guess what? I'm appreciative of the people that did follow us. Maybe I flew too close to the sun by thinking that the regulars would be as regular as possible. We're seeing it in the chat right now. High score run. Can we talk about this high score run? I don't know who this is. I don't know where they're from. High score run. I want you to lay it down in the chat right now. This is going to be the one night everyone wishes they would have been here because I'm literally interacting with the chat. High score run. We want to know all about you. How'd you find the show? Where do you come from? You just keep it coming. If it came to the worst of Montreal, this person would not make the list. Only the loyal people are here, and I love you for it. Let's move on to our next guest. I got to calm down because this person demands excellence. Please welcome Saima Ahmed. Saima, how's it going?
Hi, James. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. You know, maybe me deciding to alter the schedule this week was one of the worst things in Montreal history. Is that possible?
I'm actually quite surprised that you changed the schedule. Well, I'm surprised, but not surprised at the same time because I know it's the Stanley Cup Finals. But I just thought you would do like you know what? Why don't we do like a post-game or a pre-game thing?
Well, you know what? A pre-game show. Now that's very interesting. A pre-game show. We're in and out early, right? But then you run into maybe the same issue that I'm running into now where people are like, but I expected 9 o'clock and now it's at 7 and the show's over.
Well, but then when they tune in at 9, they can just watch the archived show from 7.
Yeah, that's it. Saima, you're part of the production team now.
Thanks.
There you go. You made it. I'll expect you to be teching Thursday's show.
Sure. I don't know how to tech, but I'm sure it's not that hard.
You know what? Dave's going to show you.
If Dave can do it, I can do it.
If Dave can do it, you can do it. Look, Saima, again, I mentioned it to Joe earlier. When it came to tonight's topic, I thought you would be like a shoe on Cinderella's foot, not so much unlike a shoe coming off of the server from the mains foot in the park prior to spending an evening with Joe. Saima, when you think about the worst of Montreal, what comes to your mind? Is there a base level type of category breakdown that you've done, or did things just flow, blossom, and grow?
Just to begin, I feel like people who know me know that I'm a lover, not a hater. So I usually don't like to hate on things.
Yeah.
But I will say, when you told me this was the worst of Montreal, I think I texted you this. There's one thing that came to mind right away.
Yeah.
And I hope this is not I don't think this is controversial at all, actually. In my opinion, worst neighborhood in Montreal is Hochelaga Maisonneuve.
Sure. Yeah. Now,
I see everyone's nodding. Like,
look, I think that even people that live there, if you had to rank it, I do think that the area that people affectionately refer to as Oma would probably fester at the bottom.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I forgot this neighborhood existed, and actually last week I went to. Well, there's this like in my area, there's this really cool bar called Alexanderplatz. It's like an outdoor pub. And it closed, and I didn't know that it closed. And there's another place called Depla Pickup, which owns Alexanderplatz. And I went to Depla Pickup with my friend Alex. And there was, we were talking about Alexanderplatz, and the guy who works there said, oh, it turns out it closed and it moved to Hochelaga Maisonneuve. And even the guy who worked there said, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's a very calculated business move to pick up your business and go to Hochelaga Maisonneuve. But you know what? Look, at one time, St. Henry, not so good. At one point, Verdun, not so good. Point St. Charles, really bad. And now that might be the trifecta of coolness in terms of burgeoning neighborhoods.
You're quite right. And I'm sure maybe one day Hochelaga Maisonneuve will be, but trust me, even if it is cool, I'll probably eat my own words, but it would take a lot for me to go to Hochelaga Maisonneuve.
Yeah.
And it's not even that far from where I live, I think, but it would take a lot for me to go there.
Okay. So, and look, I don't blame you. There's not a lot to go on. I was having this conversation with Dave last year. The potential of being enamored with someone romantically until finding out what neighborhood they live in. Now, Dave tasked me with this. This is a hypothetical. He said, you don't expect to be going out that night. It's November, and you get a text from someone who lives on the yellow line, asks you to come over, and you don't have a weather appropriate coat. What do you do? Now, how do you feel about that with Hochelaga Maisonneuve, Saima?
It's funny. Once I was on we'll say a dating app, and I was talking to a guy, and he told me he lived in Hochelaga Maisonneuve.
Hold on now.
I stopped talking to him.
Hold on now. What else would we say?
What do you mean?
You said we'll say a dating app. What else would we say?
I don't know. I guess I don't know actually.
All right. So
I was on a dating app. Yeah.
Dating app. He says, hey, mama, I'm from Hochelaga Maisonneuve.
That's enough. No.
Yeah.
The conversation's over.
So he said Hochelaga Maisonneuve, and you were out.
Yeah. And it's funny because I told my friends, and they couldn't believe they couldn't believe me.
You know what? I can get on board with that. Now, I will say to Dave's hypothetical of it's November, you do not have an appropriate coat, and this person's on the yellow line. I believe that I said I would go.
Why?
You know, my heart told me yes, and my brain told me no. And sometimes you have to follow your heart, because the heart wants what it wants. Now, Saima, let's look. I'm going to deviate here.
Okay.
Can you look? Let's cut the crap right now, okay?
Okay.
I want you to build like a smooth dude, a smooth operator that you would go on a date with for me. Now, what color is this guy's hair?
Blonde.
He's a blondie. Okay, great. Does he have glasses? No glasses.
No glasses.
No glasses. Does he have
Well, he
facial
could
hair?
wear contacts. Like I wear glasses, so I'm not a hater. Like
Look,
it could go
I'm
either
just
way.
going to go down everything. Does he have a beard, mustache, pinch, soul patch, or nothing?
I usually like guys who are tall and who have blonde hair and blue eyes. That's like my stereotypical.
Okay. Is he a muscle man or is he just in shape?
I like a guy who's sporty, not too like I don't like a guy who's too buff, but someone who's sporty.
Okay, is he wearing baggy jeans or tight jeans?
Tight. Like not too tight, but like.
All right, now does he have like a T-shirt that has like slogans on it, like the man, the legend?
No.
Okay, so is he wearing sandals with socks?
No.
Okay, so we got a cool operator here.
Like a normal person.
What's a guy's name you like? What's a guy's name that you like? You're like, I wish I could date a guy.
Any name is fine.
Any name? So you're gonna date an Adolf? Right?
I'm
what about Clyde? Okay, you don't like that one. Okay. Steve.
Sure.
Steve. All right, great. Now, you good relationship with his parents?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, he checks off all the boxes you like, and he's like, but I live, and you like him. He's like, I live in Hochelaga Maisonneuve. It's a metro and a bus.
If he has a car, I would make him come pick me up.
He says my license got suspended.
Oh, that's already a red flag.
Okay, he says I'm currently learning to drive. But you like him, right? Okay.
Like anyone who's I think if a guy doesn't, it doesn't matter if you don't have a car, but if you don't know how to drive, I don't think I think that would make me think less of him already.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I don't have my driver's license. Let's continue this conversation. Simon, what else is the worst of Montreal?
Wow. Okay, we really got far from what I have originally much to talk about. Yeah. Okay. So other things that I don't like, slackliners, because you had said worst people. Yeah. Slackliners, just worst people.
Yeah.
Also,
well, that's great. I also slackline. No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't.
Also, worst. Actually, this is funny. You told the whole story about the cheese, the mozzarella, shredded mozzarella cheese. There's a place. I don't know. Perhaps you've been there. It's called Salonica.
No.
It's like it's a diner. I think you'd like it, but they also serve poutine with shredded cheese, which I don't like, and the service is horrible. And here's
the thing: if they just advertise it with the shredded cheese, I would accept it more. But it's the bait and switch, and then this guy's trying to tell me that the sales skyrocketed. Come on now, you can't. Don't treat me like that.
Well, I was gonna say if it was COVID and no one was buying anything and the restaurant was closed and then they opened, sure, they skyrocketed.
Yeah, no, it's been open the whole time. But look, I don't want to. I'm gonna get worked up here. I'm gonna need an antacid tablet. Okay, so you're adding that this is to the worst list as well.
Well, I have a service interaction that I have to say was once I went there and I enjoy drinking hot water with lemon, and I often ask this at many restaurants that I go to. At almost every restaurant I go to, I'll ask for hot water with lemon. Yeah, and it's like never a problem. Mm-hmm. And I asked for it at Salonica, and the waitress like gave me this weird look, and then she brought it to me, and then I like drank it, and then she bought me a bill for $5 for the hot water with lemon.
Now, this is truly unbelievable. Did you fight it?
No, but she had a vibe that I didn't want to fight.
Yeah, she's the type of lady. Yeah, you would have felt bad. Then you would have seen her rubbing her bare feet in a park afterwards, and you would have thought, can you imagine?
Exactly. Yeah. And so Salonica. Also, there's a restaurant close, in St. Henry that is a lot of hype, and I really don't like, and it's called Arthur's Nosh Bar.
I've never been, but I've walked by and I thought these people are maybe not my type of people.
Yeah. Not only that, again, I had a horrible interaction. I went there and I ordered, I think I ordered a sandwich, and the guy bought me a salad, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, this is not what I ordered. And he was like, are you sure? And he tried to convince me that I had ordered something else. Yeah. And then he made me wait like an hour to get my food. And then at the end, I also asked for a coffee that I never got, and he charged me for the sandwich, the salad, and the coffee. And And yeah, so it's just a horrible.
Now, did you fight that one too?
Yes, that one I definitely fought.
And what happened? Did you win in the end?
Well, yeah, because he was an idiot. But
yeah, see, this is why I believe in following your dreams and doing what you believe in.
Yeah. So one of my worst restaurants. Also, a worst intersection is the intersection of Saint Laurent and Saint Catherine.
Yeah, it's not good, right? It's where the Quartier du Spectacle really takes shape. Yes.
It's that intersection is like the intersection of hell, like especially like Friday night, like midnight. Like I've been there a few times. Like you don't want to be there. No one wants to be there.
Yeah, it's yeah, you've got a lot going on the corner, right? You've got a Belle Province on one corner, you've got a dirty Depiner on the other. Then there's like a building where it looks like concerts would happen in there, but I'm not sure. Then right around there, you got Cafe Cleopatra. Then you've got the Montreal pool room. There's a lot going on, right? And at one point, one of the dirtiest areas of the city.
Yeah, so that's my worst intersection.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, there's a place close to me that I think is mega overhyped. It's an ice cream place called Iconoglass. I don't know if
yeah, that name sounds like a nightmare.
Okay.
It's like a place where you get ice cream and rent a car.
Pretty much. And not only, there's like always a lineup. And the last time I went, they like always ask you, they try to like get you to get something fancy. And I think I paid like maybe $10 for my ice cream and it was not good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what these places will do to you. Like the cool places, ice cream, overpriced.
Yeah. And actually this is like as a flip thing, best ice cream, McDonald's.
McDonald's soft serve is one of the city's and frankly restaurants' greatest gems. People don't know that their soft serve is very good if only their machine worked all the time.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it's actually broken or they just say that
no, I don't think it's broken. I think that there's something about it that they don't want to take care of and it's easier to just say that it's ça marche pas, madame.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then does that bring me to the end of my list? I believe that might bring me to the end of my list. I just had two notes because I heard Joe talking.
Please.
The Dispatch. I actually, I used to frequent there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And this is bizarre because I actually think I hate their coffee. Their coffee sucks.
I agree.
And I would still go there quite often. Actually, sometimes with Dave even, but like it's a good spot to like hang out with people.
Yeah.
And it's I actually don't mind the cement benches or whatever, and I've always had decent service, but their coffee really sucks in my opinion.
Yeah. See, I will tolerate the coffee, but it's the environment that doesn't turn me on.
Oh, I've always had good interactions.
I feel like you fit into Dispatch quite well, though. I walk in, I stick out like a sore thumb. I'm like a zit on the rear end of a porn star.
Oh, well, I'll go with you next time and we'll see what the interaction is like.
Yeah, right away my status climbs to the levels of which I could have never imagined.
And then my last thing,
if only I had a driver's license. Let's continue.
Oh, and then just to go back to Joe's thing about the gnocchi, it's about the what would you call it, like cost. It's really cheap. It's $5.
Yeah.
So it's like the qualité prix is like you can't go wrong. Yeah. That's why people like it, Joe.
If you were to take that bucket of gnocchi and pour it onto a plate, it'd be a big plate of pasta. Now here's the thing.
Exactly.
I don't mind it, but I don't love the idea of eating pasta out of a bucket on the street. Now, if I lived across the street and poured it on a plate, and maybe sprinkled some of my own parmigiano on it, why did I do that? I think I'd enjoy it a lot more.
You know what? I see if you want to, those people who bring their own plastic Tupperware with them everywhere they go, like a guy with his own like little fork and his own little, you could be that person.
Look, there's a reason I have a fanny pack, because it's convenient and you're able to carry a variety of things that you might need within the snap of a finger. So if you're eating gnocchi on the street, right there, you reach into your fanny pack like a creeper, you pull out a nice set of utensils, some Parmesan cheese, and then you're off to the races.
So do you have a fork in your fanny pack?
I, at one point, traveled with a spoon in it.
Oh, spoon's a bold move.
Well, I'm a bold guy. This is for the future episode of the show called James's Fanny Pack Adventure.
Oh, this is giving me ideas. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, Simon, that's why you're part of the production team now.
Well, a lot of women do this thing like on YouTube. It's like, what's in my purse?
Okay.
You should do what's in my fanny pack.
Okay, well, currently it's like my wallet, my phone, my headphones, my keys. Maybe I got to start adding to the fanny pack in order to have it be a really effective episode. Get a spoon in there, maybe some cheese.
Yeah, or like some lip. I could see with like some lip balm, maybe.
I'll tell you what, I have so many sticks of chapstick. I'm never gonna run dry.
That's what she said.
Simon, that feels like the best place to end it, right?
Perfect.
How do we go anywhere from there? Thanks for being here. Thanks for that very concise list. And thank you for being maybe the only person that ever would have come up with worst intersection.
It is the worst intersection. Well, thanks for having me.
Saima, it's always a pleasure. Thanks again. Have a good night.
Thanks.
That's Saima Ahmed. Look, I don't have a driver's license. You think that's the first time I've heard a lady say, you're not a real man if you don't have a driver's license? And yeah, I don't have a full-time job either, right? You think that people are looking at me going, you know what? This guy is going to be able to drive me back and forth to wherever. If I break my leg, he'll take me to the hospital and he'll pay for whatever needs to be done. Here's the thing. What I lack in a job and a driver's license, I make up for with jokes that'll have you laughing until you've heard enough and go, I don't think this guy's funny anymore. But I'll tell you what, for the first 6 months, you're going to love it. Anyways, I also want to acknowledge that High Score Run dropping some great information in the chat. James doesn't interact with the chat. I do tonight. Anything could happen. Tuesdays are crazy. Found the show by way of a friend of mine, Sami Zayn. Close personal friend, a CPF on the show last October. Let me tell you something. We were setting that show up, and this Dave guy who's on the show, this guy was terrified that we had a star on the show. He was like, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? I really want to impress him. I go, Dave, you just be yourself. Then this guy's mentioning Chris Benoit on the show. Anyways, that was one of the worst moments in Montreal history right there. But we got through it. We got through it. We're going to be back on Thursday. Will you? I hope so. It's not tomorrow. I'll be sure to post something online. We got one guest left. As I mentioned off the top, this guy's all about cleaning up the worst of the worst. He is the head of the Montreal chapter of the Guardian Angels, a group dedicated to keeping the streets safe. Here he is, the one and only Mike D'Amico. Mike, how's it going? Welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey, James, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I guess congratulations are in order. Your leader, Curtis Sliwa, is now the Republican candidate for mayor of New York City.
Hell
the race is coming up.
That's right. Finally, one of us, we're going to take over that city. We're going to clean up the streets.
As you've been doing for 30 plus years.
Sure, but this time we're going to do it from the top down with the law like the wind on our backs.
Well, look, I'm excited for you. You must be over the moon excited, you and the fellow Angels.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's given us a lot of ideas, I figure I might run for politics myself.
Now, this is the exact question I was going to ask. Are you interested in running for office here in Montreal? Are you interested in running for mayor? Because the election is this year.
Thinking about it, I might put out some feelers. Would you vote for me, James?
Well, I'd have to see what your platform is, but I already really strongly am for a lot of what you believe in, which is keeping crime off the streets, safe for all of the people who live in the city, the citizens, of course, kids, the elderly. I'm for it.
There you go. Perfect.
What else would you be running on?
Oh, everyone gets a hat.
Oh, so everyone who votes for you gets a hat, or every Montrealer gets one of your trademark red berets?
Every Montrealer, from the oldest man to the youngest baby, gets a red beret.
Well, I'm a hat fan, so you right now are swaying me towards voting for you.
Oh, there you go. No, we are going to outlaw weapons.
Okay. Well, of course, so people may not know the Guardian Angels are not armed.
No, we never use weapons.
You work in crisis conflict by trying to talk down.
We talk down. So we've never used a knife. We've never used a gun. And if we get into power, neither will you.
Well, I love it. Now, last time you were here, you talked about disengaging a violent situation.
Cool coats?
Cool coats?
Yeah, we're going to give away cool coats.
Wow. Now, like the one that you're wearing or the one that the Angels are wearing?
You pick.
You get to pick which coat you get?
You get to pick which coat. Yeah, well, there's 3 other options.
Mr. D'Amico, look, you are really forcing me to think when I'm in bed later on tonight because my vote is always up in the air. I'm not a one-party guy. I go with the
unlimited subway rides.
Unlimited subway. Of course, you mean the Metro.
Yes, of course, not to be confused with the Subway, which is the sandwich restaurant, but
And
free Subway sandwiches.
And not to be confused with the Metro, which is also a grocery store.
Right, the Metro's a grocery store. The Subway is a sandwich place, but the Metro is also a Subway.
So your platform includes a free hat, a free cool coat, and one free sub. Are we talking 6-inch or 12?
I didn't say one.
Are you saying there could be more free subs?
One a day. I'm declaring that my platform tonight. One free sub a day.
All right. Well, now some people are going to call you crazy.
And that could be a sandwich or that could be a Twitch sub.
Okay, now people are going to say that you're out of your mind with these promises. How would you ever be able to live up to these? Mr. D'Amico, what do you say in response?
Well, we're going to use the money that we save from all the crime. You know, let's say a robber steals $5. We're going to take that money that we saved and invest it into a sandwich.
So you're saying that the people that save money from being robbed or mugged, they put that money, the surplus of the money, towards
into a sandwich pool.
Right. So it's basically a publicly funded sandwich pool.
Yeah.
You know, what if people don't want to donate, right? Because you've got my $5.
Well, if they don't want to donate, then we'll figure something else out.
All right. Well, I like that you're willing to admit here live on the show that it could potentially not work.
You know, politics is all about, sorry to interrupt, James, but I'm all excited about my platform. Politics is all about going with the flow, riding the wave, you know, and if we get a little wave, we'll ride that. If we get a big wave, we'll ride that too.
Well, you must be hoping for a red wave because, of course, that's the color of the Angels.
That's right.
Well, Mr. D'Amico, we're talking about the worst of Montreal, so I thought it was only apropos that you were here to discuss maybe some of the things that you've seen or some of the things you're looking to avoid as your time in Montreal continues.
Well, you know, worst of Montreal, I hate to say it, but some of these Habs fans.
Sure.
They're on the streets, they're causing a ruckus, they're causing violence.
Mm-hmm.
They're flipping over cars, they're cheering.
Yeah. So not only are they taking part in like public vandalizing, which is flipping over a cop car, it's destruction of public property. You're also upset that they're cheering for it.
Yeah, it's loud.
Yeah. Okay. So not only does
people are trying to sleep, James.
Right. It causes a public disturbance that is both destructive but also interrupts people in the evening.
That's correct.
Right. Okay. So you must have been really out of sorts when the Canadians clinched a berth into the Stanley Cup final and they beat the Vegas Golden Knights last week. Were you there at the Bell Center?
I was at the Bell Center. You know, I was at the Metro, the Bell Center. I heard all the screaming, and you know, it's dangerous being at a hockey game because, of course, hockey's full of weapons. Yep. So we have to tread carefully. You know, you don't want to get slashed by a blade or smashed by a stick.
Right, of course.
Or shot by a puck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot that could go
checked.
Wrong. Of course.
Because you got to put those guys in the penalty box, James.
Now, did you feel yourself having to put anyone in the proverbial penalty box? Now, again, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. I'm very much pro your cause. Last time you were here, you were talking about the anti-curfew protest that you were at when you were able to evade a punch and the person was so surprised that you ducked that they ended their violence right then and there. Any similar situations last week?
Oh, absolutely, James. I was at the Metro and people were really excited over the Habs. You know, they won the series. I don't know if you know this, but they won the series.
Yeah, I'm familiar, yeah.
And they were cheering and they were getting exorbitant. And this one guy... He was going a little nuts, you know. He was shaking stuff.
What do you mean stuff?
like at the Metro, you know. He was going up to the booth and shaking it.
Shaking the ticket booth?
Shaking the ticket booth. That's right.
Right. Okay.
So I said, "Hey, buddy, that's 2 minutes for being a dick."
Okay, well now can I again, I'm a fan of you, Mr. D'Amico. Don't you feel like that may have made the situation worse by insulting this gentleman, so to speak?
No.
Well, what happened next?
He said, "Oh, I respect that you called me that."
Oh, okay.
No one's ever called me out on my behavior my entire life.
Wow. Okay. So this guy was looking for trouble, and he was looking for maybe, some type of parental figure to show him the error of his ways.
Well, it's funny you should say parental figure because he asked me if he could stay with me during the holidays.
The holidays? So you mean the Christmas season?
Yeah.
So this man made plans with you for 6 months from now?
Yeah, so we're having a turkey dinner on Christmas Eve.
All right, well, that's, you know what? It's great that you're taking people in troubled souls, right?
Yeah. And then this other guy, he was also shaking stuff.
What was he shaking?
He was shaking the, the metal rolly thing that you go through when you swipe your ticket.
Yeah, like the turnstile?
The turnstile, yeah.
He was shaking the turnstile?
He was shaking the turnstile. He said, "Let me in, but I refuse to pay."
Okay, and what did you say?
I said, "Hey, buddy, you're being an asshole right now."
So you didn't give him 2 minutes?
I didn't finish. I said 2 minutes for roughing the turnstile.
Right,
Because when it happened, I remember the word.
Right. So you insulted him first and then gave him the supposed penalty.
Yeah.
Well, so what happened with this guy? He must have taken that poorly.
He's coming over for Thanksgiving.
What? Wait. So
we're having a turkey.
Wait, so this second guy also wanted to hang out with you at the holidays, but specifically Thanksgiving?
Well, yeah.
All right, so a lot of people shaking stuff after the game.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah. Well, that must have been it, right? It sounds like you probably had the situation under control in the Metro.
Well, there was another incident.
Okay, tell me about this.
This guy, when the Metro pulled up, he started shaking the cart. You know the Metro cart? He was going up, he was shaking it. So I said, "Hey, buddy, you're being a ne'er-do-well." He said, "Oh, he's coming over for Ramadan."
Wow, that is a wild tale. Now, wait, you're having a turkey for Ramadan?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be cooking up a lot of turkeys over the next few months.
There's a lot of turkeys in this city.
Yeah. Yeah, you're taking them out one after the other.
One after the other, yeah.
Now, I want to circle back, right? You really caught me off guard.
To which part?
Well, a lot of it. You're telling me he's on the platform. The Metro pulls up and he's able to shake the entire car?
Yeah.
And this thing, the Metro's shaking back. How big was this guy?
This guy was huge. He must have been 7'2".
7 foot. Okay, so a gargantuan.
Wow, James, come on. Don't use that kind of language.
Why? I noticed that you were insulting some of these people, except for that last guy.
Based on their physical attributes.
You referred to him as a ne'er-do-well. So yeah, I'm curious to know why you were so soft by insulting this tall man.
What do you mean soft? Ne'er-do-well is one of the worst things you can call somebody.
You were saying like a-hole and all this stuff. This guy's just a ne'er-do-well.
Ne'er-do-well is one of the worst slurs you can call somebody. Have you ever heard of George Carlin's seven dirty words?
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, one of them's ne'er-do-well.
Ne'er-do-well is on that list? The words you can't say on TV?
Yeah, ne'er-do-well, scallywag, shit piss, cock.
All right. Well, it sounds like you really had a really busy night at the hockey game. Are you concerned, and do you have anything prepared and put in place preemptively in case things get a little bit crazier? Because certainly they will if the Canadians start winning in the finals.
Yeah, I got...
I mean, there's only so many turkeys to go around.
Well, you'd be surprised, James. They keep making more.
True enough.
There's never going to be an end to the turkeys.
All right. Well,
what I got a plan.
Okay.
I'm getting a megaphone.
Okay, you're buying a megaphone, right? To keep the crowd in order. You're going to yell into the megaphone, things like that.
Yeah. And I got a new book of curse words.
You got a book of curse words?
Yeah.
All right. Anything you'd like to share? Well, let's be reasonable with this.
Punk. Scoundrel.
Yeah.
Shithead.
Yeah. They really take a turn after the second one.
What do you mean?
Well, the first couple are very, PG.
Lollygagger.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you'd see in maybe the Little Rascals. And then they take a real turn.
I don't know what you mean.
All right, well.
Scallywag.
Yep.
Scumbucket.
Yep.
Bitch.
Now, would you like to send a message to any potential troublemakers that are watching right now? Look right into the camera, Mr. D'Amico, because I'm sure that'll intimidate them.
Yeah. If you're out of there and you're celebrating a Habs victory.
Mr. D'Amico, just want to say, it looks like you're looking above the camera.
Okay, sorry. What was this?
Yep.
Was that good?
It's very, that's very
Which
intimidating.
One?
No,
this
go back
one?
to, that's the one you want right here. Now, maybe you come a little bit closer, lean in.
This one.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. If you're out there and the Habs have won a victory and you're tempted to shake something, like shaking a tree or shaking a bush, shaking a car, shaking a, I don't know, post. Well, let me tell you.
Maybe shaking that ass.
James.
You're right. I apologize.
Jesus Christ almighty, Lord. Mamma mia. If you're thinking of shaking that ass, don't. Let me tell you why. Because one of the guardian angels will be there. And if we find you, we're going to call you something nasty. And then you might come over for a holiday. And nobody wants that. How was that?
Nobody wants anyone coming over for the holidays?
Nobody wants that. I make a terrible turkey.
Well, Mr. D'Amico, we might have to have you back for your Thanksgiving special to hear about what makes your turkeys so bad.
All right.
I'm a big fan of what you do. I know that since you and the other Angels hit Montreal, I've felt so much safer, not only in the metros, the subways, even the restaurant subway, the grocery store metro. So I just want to thank you for doing your due diligence.
Hey,
you're really a hero.
Stay safe out there, James. And if you ever need a guardian angel, just give us a prayer, and we'll be there.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike.
You got it.
That was Mike D'Amico, and folks, that is our show. And things turned around, right? That first, 20 minutes where people are starting to realize, hey, wait a minute. Doesn't James have his little online program on tonight instead of yesterday and tomorrow? The answer is yes. Thanks so much for tuning in, for being a part of what is a truly special occasion, which is a rare Tuesday night episode. I want to thank Joe Conto, Saima Ahmed, and of course, Mike D'Amico. What was he? Kept looking up. I wonder what was going on over there. I guess we'll get that question answered maybe one day, or maybe we won't. Until then, we will see you on Thursday. I'm James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.